Well, hi. This is the first in a series of rules of thumb. This is for young doctors aged 30 to 45. I'm using a book by Farrell called Your Money Ratios. Simple, easy to understand, and I love the math behind what Charles does. So if you have a chance to get it and read it, please do. First of all, young dentists, to be able to retire before age 70 these days, you have to pay off your student loans. You have to pay off your student loans as soon as possible. In fact, you need to pay off your student loans before you take out any other loan. Period. And you don't have any credit card debt either. Start out clean. You're going to need to live like a student for 3 or 4 years if you went to a public school for dental school. Maybe 6 or 7 if you went to a private school. But you have to have your student loans paid off. Otherwise, your ability to save throughout your career is severely inhibited. This is my main message. Get the student loans paid off. Charles uses different ratios throughout your career as to different things relating to your income. And your income between age 30 and 45 is going to be somewhere between $120,000 and up to $500,000. For savings, savings comes after you've paid off your student loans. Your practice loan comes after you've paid off your student loans. Now, if you want to, in the last year or so, take on a practice and still have a little bit of student loans, that's okay. That's pushing the envelope as far as I'm concerned. But your practice loan really is going to be good for you in the future and is productive. Do not take out a home loan though before you take out your practice loan. That puts way too much pressure on you the first several years of owning or working in a practice. Okay, so as far as savings, if you can save up to 10% between ages 30 and 40, you're doing pretty well. I'd prefer you pay off debt than make savings at that point. You can save 10%, great. And the other videos I say 15% throughout your career is appropriate, but at this age range, anything saved is a bonus. Okay, as far as Charles' ratios, capital to income ratio. In other words, what he'd like to see at different age groups relating to your net income is what we're going to talk about. Age 40, it'd be nice to have double your regular income. If you're earning a couple $100,000 and you have $400,000 saved by age 40, you are set. You are doing absolutely wonderful. By the way, very few doctors have that. Age 45, 3 times, 500, 600, 700,000. Again, unusual, but if you can get that, you're doing well. Mortgage to income. This is a key thing to talk about here. You should never take out a mortgage that's more than double your family net income. If your family is earning $250,000, do not take out a mortgage more than $500,000. Sure, you can buy $1 million house if you put down $500,000, but who can do that early on in your career? Very few. That's critical. The banks will loan you much more than that, but realistically, double your income is the limit. Otherwise, it severely inhibits your ability to save. Now, if you do have a home, please watch the upgrades. Again, that's the biggest offender. You've got property taxes, insurance, you've got repairs, but upgrades can kill you. That includes outdoor landscaping, new kitchens. They can cost $100,000 a piece. This severely inhibits your ability to save. So please, if you do buy a home, and when you do buy one where the upgrades are going to be minimal. Also, HELOCs, home equity line of credits, forget it. For any upgrades that you do, please pay cash. Practice loans. Please be careful with that. It's a lot better to buy a small or mid-range practice than a large one. A large one puts a lot of pressure on your wallet and makes things more difficult for you. I'm not saying don't buy a big practice. Sometimes they're a great deal. Everything is set in place. You can have a nice income and a nice lifestyle and save a lot. But it's more difficult than a smaller practice. Autos. You should be always paying cash for autos, period. I don't care what your age, autos should be bought via cash. When you have the money, buy them. If you don't have the money, do not take out a loan. Investing. Investing for young people is very important to get off on the right foot. Please stay away from anything related to insurance. Please stay away from anything related to traditional brokers. The fees are too high, the commissions are too high. If you're going to use an advisor, make sure that that's a fee-only advisor. Certified financial planner is probably the best person to use. Even they can get you into trouble sometime with some of the funds that they picked. Also, stay away from something called active management. Always use passive. Active management means timing the market. It does not work. Academically, it's been shown not to work. So if you use an advisor, fee only, not using active strategies. 90% of them will use active strategies. So what's your alternative? Go to Vanguard. They will use index funds, which are passive strategies. If they talk about active, get away from them. But most of the time they won't. I've talked about lazy portfolios on some of the other videos. Lazy portfolios, just Google it. There's about 8 different ones that you can choose. All you have to do is rebalance your portfolio once a year. The life cycle funds, Vanguard in particular, they call them target date funds. Automatically rebalance and cover the whole market, academically proven to be the best way to do it. So think in terms of, if you're going to have an advisor, fee-based, make sure that it's passive, index fund investing, and actually Vanguard is the best place to go. Life insurance, use term, no whole life. Whole life is an investment that gives you a really horrible return over a period of time. Why? Because of commissions and fees which are hidden. By term life, ADA plan is great, USAA is great, TIAA CREF has also good term life plans. In fact, most companies have good term life plans. They're going to try to sell you whole life, universal life, other different names where there are big commissions involved and you're not protected. And again, your ability to save and have your funds grow is severely inhibited. Term insurance. Charles Farrell says have 12 times your family income in insurance. So that means for the dentist, if you're earning $200,000, you're going to need $2.4 million. He also says subtract out any savings. As a young dentist, probably $2 to $3 million is appropriate to have in term insurance. It's cheap. For the spouse, I would go for 12 times whatever their earnings are also. If you're going to start to fund college for kids, in your 40s, it may be appropriate to do that, but only after you've met all these other issues, that you don't have student debt, that your savings ratio is at least 10%, that your savings to income ratio is appropriate, that your mortgage to income ratio is appropriate, you're paying cash for cars, you don't have any HELOCs, and you don't have any credit card debt. Then you start funding for college. Otherwise, it's best to think in terms of having your kids take out loans. Yeah, I know that's expensive, but your retirement is much more important at any age than funding for college. You can't get loans for retirement, and the worst case scenario is your kids having to take care of you. I'm at the age right now, at age 62, where there are a lot of guys my age that are helping their parents who are age 85 to 95 in retirement because they've run out of money. You do not want your kids to get into that situation. Thanks for listening. Give me a call or email me if you have other questions about this. This is all very important. Thanks so much.